Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to AEW Uncensored. We're here for another week in the tag team division, putting over talent, because we are certainly job squad right now.
Mm.
So, real quick, just want to start off. If you want to get on the show, jump in our Skype. We put the link in the description on YouTube. You can catch it off our website, uncensoredalliance.com. We have a post up there with the Skype link. You want to get some email, some questions or statements read about AEW on the show, email us. If you're listening to this as a podcast, feel free to join us on YouTube Live every Sunday. Currently, that's when we're taping at about 4:05, 4 o'clock Eastern time. So you get on live and get on with some discussion. But I just wanted to kind of put that stuff out there. Check us out on Twitter, AEW Uncensored, Facebook. We have a group and a page over there. All that info is in the description. But yeah, now that that's out of the way, just head right into some shit. What do you got, Alan? What was your first piece of info there?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about, certainly besides the show itself. Something that happened that I didn't see too much about was that Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Ranger Cruise has actually sold out. So it's going to be, God willing, everything goes okay with current world situation. It's going to be taking place February 1st to February 5th. Travels from Miami to Grand Bahama Island. That's going to be for 2021. And yeah, it's sold out. That's pretty cool. That's something yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the last place anybody's gonna want to fucking be for the next 5 years is on a cruise.
I think you're right, unfortunately.
Just my opinion. I mean, just my opinion. I mean, I hear little, early on when this was all hitting, everybody's like, never cruise, no, 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 cruise, because they're already cesspools when it comes to, if somebody happens to get sick, it just runs like a wildfire through the cruise.
Yep.
Hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, Eddie.
He before we even launched, he was in the chat talking Hogan, fucking guy. Listen, man, this is AEW. He's banned. Um, what? Actually, he said, "What'd you say, Eddie? That makes no sense. Cruise lines are still until September now." Yeah, that don't make sense, Eddie.
I think he needs to throw down until September.
Hey, fix your wording there, Kevin. Relax. Yeah, so Eddie knows a little bit about the cruise ships. He deals with them a lot for his line of work. But
we should ask him then if he can get us onto Jericho's cruise. We could run a show from
be
there.
Able to. We could be stowaways.
There
you go. So that's so all right. So we got the cruise out of the way, at least for now. We could talk about the action figure line. It seems that the samples are in hand at this point. The production figures are in hand at this point in the States. At least enough to give to the talent. They took some shots and some pics, and oh my god. I won't even comment on that. Fucking Eddie. So sorry, he got me. So they're in hand. They showed some promotion pictures. I guess not even promotional pictures. It's probably just pictures of them. They looked like they were maybe filming a commercial or something. You had the Bucks, Kenny, and Hangman with their figures. Then he had Jericho with both his figures and Cody with both his figures. Because Jericho's figures, one of them is a Chase figure, and same with Cody. He has a Chase figure. Thank God, honestly, both Chase figures don't even look that good. So it's going to be a pain in the ass to hunt them down because I'm a completist, but they don't really look that good. So I guess if I don't get either Chase figure, I probably won't lose my shit. Otherwise, you might catch me on a meltdown on the show if I can't get every single one. But no, all seriousness, all joking aside, and in all seriousness, I'm looking forward to them. The one thing I will say about them is I wasn't seeing the production versions in hand. Like obviously with the pre-productions, the bodies look a little funny and all that, but and the heads kind of you don't expect them to be exactly what they are. But the production run, I mean, the heads are still kind of bad. Uh, I don't know if you've seen them, Alan, or
Yeah, and again, the company itself, they've done stuff, but it's not going to be Mattel quality. I think at the end of the day, if we're expecting Mattel quality, we are not going to be getting that. So it's something that we're going to have to try and be used to. But it does suck that it's not something that can be more enticing, I guess, at least at this stage of the game from what we're seeing. I don't know what kind of scanning they're using. I don't know if it's probably not the same type of quality as the Mattel scans that are being used. But yeah, it definitely leaves something to be desired. I'll say that as far as how the sculpts look for now.
well, here's my thing. You can take, excuse me, you could take you don't necessarily even. I know they do a lot of scanning, but you could. There's so many good 3D artists out there that can render these people without even scanning them and make them look better than what they currently has shown us. I don't really want to shit on it because I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna support it, and I'm excited about it. But that's just one thing. And you say there's, I mean, Jazzwares and Wicked Cool Toys. I forget who bought who. I think Jazzwares bought Wicked Cool, and Wicked Cool is Jeremy Padower, who he brought the Classics line for WWE, which was amazing, and he knows what's up. I mean, that dude's for real, So I'm not trying to disparage what he's doing. I just feel like maybe they could have got a little bit better sculptor, 3D sculptor, or whatever, because you say it's a small company. It's really not at this point. I mean, but you know who's smaller? Super 7. And you know who does amazing work? Super 7. You know what I mean? So
At least as far as sculpting goes, yes.
right. And I mean, it's all in who you're hiring. It's all in who you're hiring. It's not necessarily the company as a whole. It's just in who you're hiring to do that particular
Yeah.
task. So again, I'm not shitting on like Wicked Cool or Jazzwares or Jeremy Padower. It's just you maybe find a couple better options. And probably one day somebody's gonna who sculpted on this is gonna see this and be pissed off.
Yeah.
But it's not my intent to be all fucking, you know, disparage it too much. But I mean, facts are facts.
Yeah, and we're toy collectors, so we have high standards.
Yeah, we're pain in the ass toy
Yeah.
collectors. Um, yeah, I mean some of them look good, but it's like almost Hangman's a little not Hangman-ish. Cody looks okay, Jericho looks okay, Brandy's a little off. The Bucks kind of look weird. Kenny looks all right.
Yeah, and Eddie's mentioning in the chat, he says what bothers him is the scale. I'm not sure if he's.
What's wrong?
I don't know if Eddie's referring to the scale of the different figures with each other, or the scale in general compared to other wrestling figures.
If you're talking about scale with each other, yeah, I was afraid of that because with the pre-productions, the Bucks look pretty damn tall, and they're not that tall. Not that I wouldn't say they're much shorter than say Hangman or Kenny, but still, you want it to be noticeable. And you hope that, excuse me, you hope that that isn't a issue going forward because remember, Classic Superstars, that was kind of like what people eventually were like, why is Rey Mysterio the size of Andre the Giant? You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to kind of look at it like that. Yeah, that's what he said. He thinks the Young Bucks look too big.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll wait for that to be in hand. I mean, I did kind of mention that in the past, so I've thought about that myself. But
I mean, I'm particularly looking forward to the bubbly figure with Jericho and the whole spread and everything. That's the one that I order just because I love dioramas like that and I love unique packaging like that. So that's what I'm curious to see how they're going to look compared, especially like to WWE figures in terms of what they have, props and accessories and things like that with food and tables and such. So that's one piece that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that's not out yet because that was like a very early that was a very early picture. I'm sorry, thing that was posted. the date was, I believe, April, if I'm not mistaken,
That's
right?
right.
The release date.
That's right. So it might just be a little
So
delayed.
yeah, I get with the COVID and stuff, so maybe that was their plan. Maybe they mid production, and because they had to stop, maybe that's the reason. But I'm like, I'm kind of waiting for that. I ordered the ring as well, but the ring was supposed to be August. So you got to understand, as toy collectors, we get it. I mean, with COVID, Chinese New Year, and all that stuff, anything that was probably July is probably now going to be pushed August, September, October type of deal. And anything that was going to be coming fourth quarter, I mean, don't look for it till probably at least first, second quarter next year, I would think. Are you there, Alan? Think I lost Alan. So, um, I have no idea where Alan went. Skype went down for Alan. So anyway, so I would think, like I said, I would think anything fourth quarter for AEW or any toys for that matter is probably going to come out first quarter next year, maybe even second quarter. Or if it was supposed to come out early fourth, maybe you get it later. Um, so, but all right, I'll move over while Alan pops back in here. Um, like I was thinking about the Bucks, the Young Bucks, and FTR. I really like the fact that you can see that this could be something, and they're kind of playing it that where it goes on for a long. God damn, Alan, what are you in a wind tunnel? Yeah, but you sound like. There you go. It leveled
There you
off.
go.
Um, but anyway, so I was gonna start talking about FTR and the Bucks, and I like how they're kind of really stretching this out. They're they're kind of at each other's throats, but they're helping each other, and now they're teaming together. So I could almost see this going in a way of uh, almost like a year, like years. Like this is something that can just be almost a mutual respect, but a very good rivalry in terms of maybe like almost like Midnight Rock and Roll Express, but not necessarily heel face, or maybe a little in between both. Depending on how things play out. But that's just one of my little things I want to talk about. I would like it to be more of a long chase type of deal. It's not like because right now Kenny and Omega have the belts, so it's like you don't necessarily want to have them drop the belts right away. You don't want in a year for there to be, in my opinion, you don't want in 1 year for there to be two title changes. I think 6 month title changes sometimes work, but it's like you kind of gotta establish champions. So it's like almost like we could build to that. Maybe one of them gets the belt off in another 4 or 5 months. Then the Bucks and them can feud, and then it could kind of die out. The titles change hands again or whatever, and vice versa, and just go back to like another program with them, almost like an ongoing program, almost like Dusty and Flair, something like that, where it's like there's points where it dies down, but there's points where you know it's on.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's a dance that they're doing right now, I think, and that's fine because it is better than them just rushing into a program. They know that I guess the wrestling community is aware of their history and what they're trying to do with each other, and it does make sense to try to, I guess, have it go out as long as they can, try to get a really good story out of it instead of just out of the blue rushing into some type of a match. I kind of like the pacing that they're doing with it.
Yeah, I agree. Had to fix your little box there, brother. You were tiny after you came.
Yeah, I apologize to everybody. For some reason, my Skype completely went down. I thought the entire recording went down, and then I jumped right back in, and you were still talking, so I figured nobody noticed.
No, I noticed. So it's like I just finished off the toy talk, and then I figured I could talk about that, my thoughts on that little feud real quick. I wanted to do a little later after we talked about the scenario that came up during the show, but it worked out. You pretty much came in just as I started that. So this is why we're jobbers, man. I mean, out of what is this show number 9? Out of 9 shows, we've had 3 issues.
Yep.
So, all right. So, I think as far as miscellaneous nonsense here, the last thing would be, um, sorry, I'm just reading what Eddie wrote there. Okay, that was on the toys. Yeah, he thinks everything's probably pushed back 2 quarters. Anyway, Tessa Blanchard, just released from Impact. Seems like she just was not cooperating with them, and they decided, you know what, we're just going to cut ties with her and leave it at that. So everybody's been kind of like, hey, can we get Tessa Blanchard in AEW? Here's a shot. Rumor is WWE has interest in her. Um, uh, will AEW have interest in her? I mean, that's to be determined. I'm not going to touch base on all that stuff. I don't really want to get that deep into it. But I mean, I could see her coming to AEW, being a good heel character, to chase Sheeta, and maybe be the next one to take the strap off Sheeta and work into the mix there.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to go too much into this. I don't think it would be a good idea for AEW to necessarily go after Tessa Blanchard. I don't think anybody really should at this point, only because that it's not just how her whole relationship with Impact ended. She has long had a reputation for being an absolute diva. Somebody who wants it her way or the highway. She really tries to take advantage of her family name. She is, I'm not going to call her necessarily, toxic to the business, but I don't know whether or not you're necessarily going to have a lot of people in AEW who want to necessarily work with her just because of what her reputation is. And I think, Tony Khan's going to be smart enough to be able to smell around and see what people think about it before he would bring somebody like her in. The problem is that, Impact made her their world champion, their actual world champion. And you've got something like that going on, and she might be like, well, it's that or nothing. I was able to do this in Impact. I want to also be world champion here as well. To which, Tony may be just like, no. So I don't know. It's not something I'm necessarily rooting for just because of the fact that she has really been having a negative impact on the business for the last few months now. And her circumstances of how she left Impact, which, we don't have to get into here. But I think it says a lot as far as her as a character.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't necessarily think that they will decide to bring her in,
They got her dad, so I don't know. That might make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why they might bring her in, but I just don't see. I don't know that that's necessarily a good reason to bring her in. And while I wouldn't mind her, all the reasons you stated kind of, again, the way AEW is, it doesn't look like they're interested in that, So check the ratings, though. Start thinking there, Tony. Check your ratings from last week. Anyway, that's all I'll say on that. Go into Dark. What do you got? Did you watch Dark?
I did watch Dark. There wasn't too much I took from it. I think, like we said last week, it was a lot of Dark is a lot of bam, 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 matches. Nothing that I really saw that affected too much of what's going on right now. I did think it was cool to see Brian Cage wrestle on Dark. That was nice. So just another opportunity to be able to see him in action before he gets into any type of a title fight. So, he was in there against Robert Anthony, pretty quick. But again, he showcased himself nicely. And I guess this is where, Dark really is able to work on a reputation of, you bring in some jobbers, you make some of the guys look really good. Some guys who are going to be showcased very quickly. He's going to be on the main card on Fyter Fest for the title. So that was cool to see. That was, for me, for the episode, that was the thing that stood out the most was, being able to see him on the program and see him work.
Yeah, I watched it. Like, I can't say I watched it. I kind of had matches on, skipped through a little bit. Not too much really interests me. I already saw the one thing on Dynamite they showed was Shawn Spears and a loaded glove. So finally we get an answer on the loaded glove. So I really didn't even need to watch Dark for that because they showed it. Again, there was not much interest in the show for me, so I didn't take any real notes on it. But yeah, just the Shawn Spears thing.
I did also note, we got to see Peter Avalon versus Orange Cassidy. That was cool. Again, nice to see someone like Cassidy on the card to showcase him before the next event. So yeah, I like that quite a bit to see him on there as well.
As you know, I'm a librarian fan, so I thought it would be better. Honestly, I thought there'd be more wrestling. So after a few minutes, I kind of just was like, man, tuned out because they did the little gimmick shit, and I don't. Maybe they got. I don't know. I tuned out. So did they really get into wrestling more towards the end or what?
I mean, it was there was a bit of wrestling. We had a baseball slide, we had a snap butterfly suplex, we did a spin tornado DDT. There were a number of moves that were done to make it look into an actual wrestling match. Again, when you have Orange Cassidy involved, it's going to be a bit unique. You're going to have a little bit more silliness. I'm expecting we're not necessarily going to see as much of that in the match with Jericho, but there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I got nothing on Dark otherwise.
Yeah, those are significant notes that I took as well.
Yeah. So we'll go right into Dynamite real quick. One thing I took away is like the lariat. I am not a fan of the clothesline anymore. They're killing the clothesline. Why is a 5'8" guy turning guys inside out? You know who turns guys inside out? Motherfucking Stan Hansen turns motherfuckers inside out with lariats. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Stan Hansen. Lariato!
Yeah.
Like straight out of Japan, Stan fucking Hansen. Not Kazarian. I love Kazarian, but not Kazarian. He's not the guy that's should be turning guys inside out with a clothesline.
Yeah, it's hard to take seriously.
I'm almost over it. Like, I'm over it. Like, enough. Stop fucking lariating people and turning them inside out. And it's almost, maybe it's even the onus on the other wrestlers selling. Like, sell it like who you're wrestling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you got Wardlow, and Wardlow's a big motherfucker, and he's a lariat guy, give him the lariat. If he's not a lariat guy and he's a big guy, just give him a good solid sell. Yeah. If you have a character that is like Stan Hansen, where that was one of his things, because he was a big barrel guy, and he fucking puts it on you, then you sell it like he put it on you. You don't sell Scorpio Sky putting it on you, bro. Scorpio Sky looks great. I love Scorpio Sky. I think he's a future champ in AEW, but he's not an inside-out lariat guy. Rant over.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was at the top. I was at the top of my Dynamite notes.
I agree. I mean, he's shorter than I am. I'm like 5'10", and I can't see myself turning anybody out with a clothesline. So
that's what I'm saying. It's just gotta be. It's just gotta be. It's just gotta be somebody who specializes in that type of move.
Yeah.
We'll go into Luchasaurus Wardlow. Okay.
Speaking of Wardlow.
Okay, here we go. My thoughts. What the fuck is the point of making this a lumberjack match? What? This wasn't a lumberjack match. This was two sides of the ring with randos on it. The third side, that was the only other side open, obviously, because of the walkway, had nobody. What kind of lumberjack match is that?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that they have so many matches where there's so much outside interference, and the one time they can pull off a match that actually is supposed to have outside interference, and it doesn't really work like a lumberjack match. It just... it didn't feel like it at all.
All they ever do is lumberjack shit in AEW.
Exactly.
They literally have 100 people out there at all fucking times, running around, flipping, diving, jumping, moving, attacking, interfering at all times. You get a fucking lumberjack match, and literally each guy was on the ring at one time on the bad guy on each opponent's side, and one they kind of let go. The other, they beat him up. Obviously the bad guys beat him up. The good guys, backed off. And That was it. And you don't even have the third side with anybody there, which again makes no sense.
Yeah.
So not only that, but you got a lumberjack match. Guess what's the key in a lumberjack match? The lumberjacks. So what do? They go on the stage and they 3 in a row move off of the stage onto lumberjacks. Lumberjacks catch. I forget how did I really I forget how they even did it. So it's like one guy boom off, another guy boom off, Luchasaurus 450 off. So they all gather around, they stand there. The first time, fine, it works. You know, even though I don't think it should have been worked into the match. They all stank, boom, catch it. Second time, they literally all have to get back up off the ground, plant themselves, ready, catch. Then they all got to stand back up, plant themselves, and now Luchasaurus does his 450 and they catch. Why?
Yeah.
It's just a mess. The lumberjack match should have been the focus of the match. It wasn't a lumberjack match. Don't call it a fucking lumberjack match. If you can't do it right, don't fucking do it.
Yep.
All right. Now I'm gonna start going on. I'm gonna be fucking Jim Cornette.
No, I agree with you. It did not. I was expecting a lot more out of it, particularly because the fact that I was like in the back of my head smiling over. It feels like every match is a lumberjack match. Let's see what they actually do with a real lumberjack match.
It's funny you say that because I didn't even pick up on that, but 100%. Like when you said it, boom. Like I just I picked up on what you said and I just kind of like I agree. 100 people fucking in at all times.
Right.
So
it's like they were trolling. It's almost like they were trolling. It's almost like they were thinking like, well, we get all this flack that every match is people interfering. Well, let's see what happens when we do the opposite in a lumberjack match. It was almost like it was trolling.
Yeah. The lumberjack match is like should be the focus, not guys outside of the on the thing diving into groups of people.
Right.
Which is like dive, collapse the pile. Everybody, the pile gets up. Now you have one extra guy to catch the guy. Next guy dive pile. Next guy. Let's go all get back up in a pile. Wait for the 450. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Just the one thing I did like about this was Jungle Boy speared fucking MJF through the ropes.
That was cool.
While they were on the apron, it looked good.
Yep.
Man. I was like, shit, that's a little dangerous.
Yep.
Like, it's already dangerous to dive and catch your feet. He dove and they both went down and surprised me. But I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like it. It's fucking annoying. Wardlow's good, man. Wardlow's a good wrestler.
Wardlow's great.
I could see it. That guy's smooth. That's another thing about this match. That guy's smooth in the ring. Guess who's not smooth in the ring? Guess who's not smooth in the ring? No, yes.
I'm trying to think. I mean, for seeing that match.
I mean, it's not hard. There's two guys in the ring.
I mean, a Luchasaurus wasn't that smooth.
Yes,
all,
he's not smooth in the ring. I see why the WWE let him go.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
I thought
lie.
you were maybe referring to maybe one of the other lumberjacks, but
No. Like, I'm on fire today, man. They're about to get it from me. Like, he's not smooth in the ring. Everything is pause. It's very jerky. It's not smooth.
He seems unsure of himself. I think is what it is. He really seems unsure of himself.
I don't know. And like for me, Wardlow looked really good. Obviously he does big man moves, but he's smooth. Everything he does is smooth. Another thing I didn't like was Luchasaurus. He does the chops. Boom, boom, boom. 3 or 4 chops. Wardlow into the corner. Man, like, why didn't we have to do 4 chops at a time? When you would have every match, and then it's like the back and forth chops. When Ric Flair would chop you and do the back, it was part of his thing. Everybody on the show didn't do the shit. And there's no point in everybody stopping and Flair gets the chop. Sting bulks up, chop, Sting, Flair chops him 2 times. Then Sting gets to come back with the chops or the fucking hip toss or whatever you want to say. It wasn't like, oh, chop, and it just became like a move. 3-4 chops in a row ain't a move, The back and forth chops, I get it at certain points, but all the time, no. It's
and that doesn't just happen here. The chop thing has been something over the last couple years, where like WWE does as well. They make it into a move, and I agree. It's like it's just trying to oh, let's be like Ric Flair. Let's try to get the audience to
Right.
go woo, even though there's no real audience. It's going to go woo, woo, and that's what they want,
Right.
and that's why they do it. And you're right. It's excessive. It misses the point of what it was and what it's meant to be, and yeah, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, for me, it was just like, don't do it. Like, just whatever. I'm fired up right now. Sorry. And the brawl to set up the tag match at Fyter Fest, which was like what I don't even fucking remember what the match was.
It's
Was it
Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who's going to be facing Wardlow and MJF.
Right. Okay. So that's cool. I mean, it makes sense, but like literally the shit just stops. They just break it up, and they go, "Oh, Tony Khan just said we're just gonna have a match like at Fyter Fest for doing these." Like, yo, wait till mid show. You could wait till mid show to be like, yo, after the brawl, like backstage, Tony Khan and this guy and that guy got together and they decided they're gonna sign a contract to make this match at Fyter Fest. Like, they literally just barely stop moving after attacking each other, and they're just starting to get ready to walk out of the ring, and they go, TK signs it. TK signs it for Fyter Fest. Like, yo, like you said, you're blowing your wad.
They could have milked that a little bit more for sure.
What the fuck, man? Mid show, it gives you something to talk about. It gives you something to, like, oh shit, like that happened. Oh, they because of that brawl and the issues going on, they want the tag match. They got it. Tony Khan signed it. Fyter Fest. You know, gives you a little something in the middle of the card. Not like literally like 2 seconds and Tony Khan. Oh, just got word. Tony Khan said it's a match. That's it. That's it. You could turn it into something. Anyway, whatever. You got anything on that match? Go ahead. Let me hear what you got. Because I had a rant.
No, I agree with a lot of what you were saying. Again, my biggest problem with the match was that it didn't feel like a lumberjack match, period. And that bothered me because that was supposed to be the gimmick of the match. It was something completely different. And to your point, also, Luchasaurus, on his own, not that great. Like you said, there you can see why, WWE was just like, the hell with it. We don't really need this guy at all. Again, Wardlow looks great. I think Wardlow and Wardlow teaming up with MJF is going to be great. But that's it. Not much else to say about it. But the most impressive part of that match was Wardlow to me, in general. He made the match.
Yeah, 100. Then we go into Taz. He breaks down Cage. That was fun. You got Britt, more gold. Britt just week to week, just killing it.
I do find it funny that she's now in a plexiglass security case after what happened last week. Yeah. And it's funny because you could say to yourself, she could really also try to milk it and say she's in there to protect herself from COVID. If they really want to go that route, they could have really done that. It reminded me of, a number of years back, you had Michael Cole, who was in that protective security case. And this is on WWE. You probably weren't watching it, but it was funny. It was when he was trying to be, a dickless heel. And you look at it now today, and you're like, oh, that's actually a great gimmick. If you want to say you want to protect yourself from COVID, I almost wish that she had maybe brought that up as well, just to try to dig it in even more. But I guess they figure they don't want to cross that line. But she wants to be in there after what happened with Big Swole. That's another reason. And it was great. I like the passing the notes to Tony Schiavone. It's like elementary school.
I love it. They got that little pulley system,
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wasn't high on Britt, her work in the ring, but she's killing this promo stuff. Yeah. I gotta be honest, that Jericho Cruise promo, I was like, oh, this is awful. And the week after, she came out and she murdered it after fucking having a rough shot at that on the cruise. Like, they kind of stuck with it, and it worked out. She had like the security guard there, so that was fun. But then you go to Sheeta and what was her name? Sky.
Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. Yeah, see. Was it Velvet Sky or Red
Velvet? Velvet. Velvet Sky is what's her name for the beautiful people who used to be in TNA.
All right, yeah, you got me. I knew I was writing her name down wrong. You had pre-match. You had Super Bad, Kip and Penelope stirring shit up with Sheeta.
Yep.
getting her fired up. She'd got, looks fired up after that, gets in a ring, quick squash, the big knee, Falcon Arrow, pin, runs right out and blasts Penelope from
Yeah,
behind. Bah!
that was cool. That was very
And
cool.
it looked legit, man. Like, they looked legit,
It did. That looked like a shoot.
like they were
Yeah,
bro.
that looked
Yeah, it
like
looked
an actual
shootist,
shoot. It really did. That was very
and
impressive.
which was good, man, because Sheeta actually looks fired up in there.
Yep.
So one thing I think is sometimes with her, I love her, but I think sometimes she kind of looks like, again, like almost the pause before the move. It's hard to really explain that feeling, but um, it's almost like there's like a little hesitation.
Yep. Yep.
Not a big one. She's more smooth than most of them, but most of the other women in the division. But so this was good because it really looked like bam, they were going at it, and then Penelope went back at her and did the wide punch and caught Ricky Starks right in the face. Ricky Starks caught a bad one.
It was good.
I love the spot when Kip's glasses obviously came off and broke, and then he puts them on and he sells how they're broken. He had the one lens. Oh man, the more I'm seeing Kip, the more I'm getting into him.
Yeah, no, he's great.
And I like how he sold that. Just that he's one eye's covered with the sunglasses, the lenses popped out. So it was a good visual, really good visual. The brawl looked good, man. I mean, the brawl looked good. That's all I could say.
Yeah,
I was very, very impressed.
That was probably the most impressive thing of the entire night, actually. I thought that it did look really good. It looked real.
Yeah.
It was very impressive. It was a bit unexpected, too.
Yep. We go into the press conference. Yep. All right. Now, I've heard people say that this was, like, great and whatever. Listen. I'm an MMA fan, so I get the whole press conference thing. I've been a boxing fan for, I get the whole press conference thing. Guess where I don't get it? With this situation.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It felt weird. And on top of that, you have two guests, both from the same news outlet.
Yeah, I didn't understand that, actually.
I saw somebody kind of mention Google those people in PWI, and apparently maybe even they're fake. Maybe they were just made up. So I don't know. I didn't bother to look into it.
They're probably just plants. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't even work for PWI or whatever. I could be wrong, but that's an insinuation somebody made. But listen, people make insinuations all the time. I liked the part where Cody mentions he doesn't like meta and cosplay wrestling. I love that. I love that. I mean, I get it. I love it. Aside from that, like I said, awkward. I mean, it was, he shows up, he's talking, then Jake shows up with his wife, and they just kind of stand there and stare, and then we gonna do this? Yep. Walks up, and they do the pose down, the hand slap, I get, because he's an MMA fighter now too, Jake. So I get they're kind of trying to put the mixed martial arts press conference look on, but it was almost just like, I don't know. If you did it right, it would work, but I felt like it wasn't done well, and was awkward.
I appreciated the intention of it because they were trying to make this have a real world feel. MMA is a good way to do that as far as trying to have that kind of feel to it. It was better than, having a contract signing in the middle of the ring with a table. You sign the contract, then you start fighting.
Well,
the same usual stuff,
I heard people say that, well, it's better than the contract signing. But, okay, the contract is already signed. They're already wrestling. So this is just like, yes, okay, so you don't even have to do either.
You kind of, that's true. I mean, once you do... You
don't have to do either.
You don't have to do both. I mean, both are not necessary.
Right. Hager actually is like playing the Conor McGregor role by showing up late. It's like the whole, Conor didn't show up to the Khabib, presser. So,
but
he's pulling that move, and it's
this
like I said, if it's done well, it's done well.
Yeah,
But
and this kind of speaks to what I've been talking about the last couple of weeks is that now, you have so much time left. Well, finally next week is Fighter Fest that they have to think about what they want to do to keep the story going each week. And this is something where they probably felt, well, there's not much left we have in the tank. Let's do a press conference. Without much regard for making it really work. And yeah, it felt awkward's the good word for it. It did feel very awkward, especially like you said, you're an MMA fan. You've seen these actual press conferences before. If it's not going to feel like that, then it's going to really be visible. It's going to be exposed. It's going to feel exposed.
Right.
It's going to feel exposed as not feeling real. If that's what they're going for and they don't really achieve that.
Move on to Colt Cabana and Brody Lee versus Kiss and Janela. Didn't really watch much of that match. Seen the end of it. It was a good play in terms of Brody, giving Colt all the accolades in the match and raising his hand, giving him the pin. That's trying to get him to be his disciple, whatnot. So that was good.
Yeah, I like the storytelling in it. They're continuing that story. They're making it work within the match. I like that quite a bit. It was better than just having another promo of them talking and trying to convince him to join. You actually worked it within the confines of the storytelling in the match, and I like that part of quite a bit.
Yeah, that was well worked. Definitely well done. Then Lance Hoyt comes out and what is it? Lance Archer. Sorry, Lance Hoyt is his name, I believe.
Yes.
Lance Archer comes out, beats up Kiss and Janela. Where's that leading? Who knows? Looks like they're trying to do some stuff with Kiss and Janela. It's just a matter of what and when. Then again, spoke about this earlier from Dark. They highlighted Sean Spears with the loaded glove. Boom, we got an answer. The loaded glove. We kind of thought that. We discussed it last week.
Yeah.
And we kind of figured that's where it was going.
It's kind of silly because now, in from a storytelling perspective, from a storyline perspective, anytime now he comes out with the glove, you think the referee's going to be like, okay, you got something in there, right? So.
I know. Oh, man. FTR SCU. I love when FTR just walks in and they just blow right by Britt. And her face was classic, man.
Yeah,
she's just like,
it's right.
She's got that look she gave. As always, both teams are great, man. They're both solid teams. Good wrestling. They just both brought it. I did notice during the match, I liked that they were both grabbing the tag ropes.
Yes.
They were being obvious about it. Right before like a tag and whatnot. Both teams did that, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel about blind tags. I guess I can't remember back in the day when I would watch a lot more, like how prevalent it was. So I don't mind it, but I mean I know some people shit on the blind tag, but the blind tag is kind of like a part of the psychology of the match.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. I think it's a staple.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I think Jim Cornette is shit on it. And maybe some other people shit on it, but it's kind of part of the match. At the end, I like the end. I enjoyed that Butcher and the Blade kind of cut him off, and Lucha Brothers are back, which is great. Fucking Phoenix injured himself when he was just first came back, and then I guess Penta was able. I assume he was in Mexico at the time, so now he was able to get back to the States, which was good. So I guess like I've heard people say, it's kind of a little long with them behind him, but it was all right because they had a little back and forth, and it makes sense for them to be kind of standing there waiting on him while they're Butcher and the Blade and them are having the little back and forth. So I didn't mind the length. I did notice it myself, but I didn't mind it. So it's kind of bittersweet. We got Lucha Brothers back. We got 4 pretty good tag teams, and they're doing an 8-man tag. You know, so you know
In other
me,
words, a lumberjack match.
Yes. In other words, a messy fucking piece of shit. You know me and multi man
I feel the
matches,
same way.
especially in AEW, because it seems like even an 8-man tag is going to turn into 6 people on the outside as valets or managers or whatever, and interference and like whatever. It's going to turn into a 20-man match. Um, whatever.
Yeah, I've always found multi-tag matches and multi-man matches to be very lazy storytelling. It's like you can't really figure out what you want to do with the participants. So let's just mix up and throw them all together, and then there you go. You've got a slot filled up. I hate that. Like WWE does that constantly, and it drives me nuts. So it's
here's the thing. I think they know what they're doing here. I get it. Lucha Bros have that Mexican tag style where it's barely any tagging, that type of shit. FTR, the Bucks have that whole high spot thing. FTR has that grounded, 80s tag style. So I get that. Plus they have the little beef with the Butcher and the Blade. So it all works. It's just a matter of how will it look, during the match. What will it look like during the match? That's my concern more so than like in my brain it works as a multi-man match, even though I'm not a fan of them. I get it. But watching is going to just probably make my head spin.
Right.
I won't be watching it Wednesday. I'll probably watch a recording of it in the following days after. But yeah, so when I do end up watching it, I'll see how much I have to fast forward. No, I think that match will be all right.
Yeah.
I think they'll do it very cleanly. Personally, I think they're trying to make a point to do it cleanly. At least I feel that vibe, Then we got the. Did you have anything else on that whole scenario?
No. To your point, yeah, like it kind of. I like the match. Love the match itself. I sighed a little bit about what it's going to be turning into, but yeah, we'll see how they pull it off. We'll see what an 8-man tag under AEW looks like.
Well, we've seen them already. Every other day,
well,
every other match.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we do an AEW show, or we just like do a shit on AEW show?
This is the first time we've actually, like you've been on fire as far as shitting on them. I think for the first time that I remember today.
Listen, I have little things that annoy me, so I'll constantly poke at them. Yeah. Even though I don't like certain things, it's not like I don't like the participants or I'm not into it. It starts to annoy me just to see it sometimes. All right, so we got Omega Page and a Best Friends feature. The Best Friends bit was fucking. He goes, how's my posture? Do we look confident? He's like, yeah, that popped me. That really popped me. I love that. And he goes, we've been through a lot. He's like what? He's just like, like we haven't been through shit. What are you talking about? Oh man.
No, they're great. They're great. I am enjoying the Best Friends quite a bit.
Yeah, and then the Hangman at the end, he goes, "We'll see you weirdos at Fyter Fest soon." I was like, all right, man, I could dig that. They did well. Kenny got some good, Kenny sounded good. It was like fun. It was, obviously two face teams, so it wasn't, there was no real need for animosity build. Right. So they kind of just gave their vibes and all that, so that worked. What about you on that segment? Did you have anything noted?
No, I loved it. I love the way they were making out like we've done all this, we've done so much. It's like, well, no, what have we really done? We've done a bunch of promotions together. We've never won any titles. It's like.
Yeah.
So, I like that they actually brought that up, that they actually have never won any titles anywhere. I like when they kind of, pull the curtain on the fourth wall a little bit. They're talking about, there's actually other promotions that exist too. We've been to other places and nothing's really gone down. So, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, for sure. We had Cage with a squash, and I probably didn't watch that. I gotta be honest. I just wrote it down. I did watch Taz's promo.
Taz is great.
Man, he's fucking really killing it.
Taz is old school. I mean, he has always been really good behind the mic, and
Yeah,
he's showing
yeah.
that here.
I was never a Taz guy back in the '90s when he was ECW. Obviously, anything beyond ECW of his I didn't watch, but in ECW I was never really a Taz guy, so I, I just never got behind him. But man, he's good, man. He really is. Um, I love how he said he was like, "Where are you, Mox? Where are you?"
Yeah.
And he's going on, and he looks in the lens, he goes, "There you are. You're right behind that lens at home, And I really, he goes, "Cage, look, he's right there, And I really dug that. I really like that was really, really that really got me. That was really good.
Well, there was one thing that kind of didn't work story wise is that Taz is wondering how much damage had been done to Moxley after the parking lot attack. He was calling in damaged goods, and it felt like they were alluding to that being the reason Moxley wasn't around. But then, after the Brian Cage Cruz fight, you had commentary saying, "Oh, this is supposed to be for Jon Moxley, but he's staying home due to coming into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID." It's like, okay, so which is it? Are you going with the real life reason, or are you going with the bullshit reason that he got hurt in the parking lot attack? That kind of bothered me a little bit. There was like a lack of continuity there. They probably should not have even brought up the COVID thing at all if they're really trying to bring home the point that, okay, make it seem like it was really serious that he got hurt in that parking lot attack. You don't even have to bring up the COVID thing. And the fact that they did so soon after Taz mentioned that, being
kind of threw it in. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
I missed it. So
me, I'm all about the storytelling.
I would agree with you that it's almost like, maybe, but I mean, you could also look at it like Taz wants that to be the reason.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Sure, I get it.
So maybe he's kind of like...
Yeah, maybe commentaries like say, well, that's not really the reason. Here's what really happened. I guess I can see that. All right. I can accept that.
I don't know how to verbalize what I'm trying to say, but the confidence of the enemy, the bad guy,
yeah.
The confidence of the heel that we did it. We're the reason,
You're right.
You're afraid of us, that type of deal, So I could see it work. I mean, again, I didn't catch that, but I see what you're saying for sure.
But then, then he says he's home with some bullshit excuse. So I guess you could look at it either way.
yeah. It was good though. The lens thing really popped.
That was great. I like that a lot.
There he is. He's right behind that lens. So we go to Brody, Lee, and Colt. They do a promo. Little Dark Order. They challenge SCU. After that was Britt with Swole. Swole's like, oh, basically Britt's acting all cocky. You can't get me. I'm behind the plexiglass. And then Swole goes, okay. Whoop, climbs up, dumps the garbage on her. I can't get you out of there to put you in the dumpster. I'm gonna climb up and dump the garbage on her. So that was great.
That was great. I like that a lot.
I can't. Yeah, man. I got to eat my words here, and like I'm not saying Britt is tops in the ring, but you could be mediocre in the ring with that type of good promo and segment work, and you could make me interested. You don't have to be the best in the ring, but she'll get there. I think she'll get there. She just has moments where it's like almost like she just has these lapses of common sense or whatever you want to call it, or what to do next. Her brain isn't moving as fast as her body needs to be, which that is like a muscle memory and a repetition thing that will come.
Yeah, exactly.
Like anything, when you just start out with anything, it's you train yourself to be best at what you want to eventually do, and it takes time and repetition. It's like a boxer. A boxer don't come in and 3 years in he's Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even in 10 years he's not Floyd Mayweather, but he could be, close. So then they did have another Dark ticker, which gave the results of Dark, which is good. keep promoting that. That's the way you get that. I really think after all this is said and done, that Dark will become more of a. It won't be what it is currently in terms of give. I really feel they're using Dark to give indie wrestlers some paychecks, and I think that while there may be some aspects of it, like WCW Pro or NWA Pro or Superstars, WWF Superstars, it may have some aspects of that, but I feel like it'll have a little more story base to it in the future once all this kind of clears up and they're able to get maybe people in or whatever, or even wrestlers are able to go back to work all over the place in terms of independence and stuff like that. I really think that Tony Khan's that type of dude that will go out of his way to try to help people out, and he's going out of his way to help these indie wrestlers out with a paycheck by helping them enhance the current AEW roster.
Yeah, it's a good vehicle for it.
Right, and I'm sure a bunch of them will stick around and do it, but I just don't think Dark will be 95% that like it is now in the future.
Right.
I think Dark will go, it'll get away from what it was and what it is now and go more towards what I was hoping it would be as almost a secondary show. Once they get their actual secondary show on cable, probably be their third actual type of show,
Yeah.
I really think they need to maximize that, especially with the amount of talent they got and the ability, their lack of ability to promote all that talent week to week on one show. So that was cool. The ticker and Hardy Santana, I got to be honest, wasn't bad. Couple miscues or just some bad movements during the match. I didn't focus heavily on the match. I really wasn't into it. I would have preferred to see the match that was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
I felt the same way.
And
it was a letdown that it wasn't what it was going to be, and so they were just filling time with it. That's kind of how I looked at it.
There was no reason even for, like what was the whole. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me, really. Like what was the. There's no build up to it. It's,
Right.
Anyway, whatever. And I'll leave it at that. And then we get Orange and Jericho. I don't know why I don't know why my notes are all off here, but Orange and Jericho have their little promo. Jericho does the why is the chicken cross the road? You get tired of it. At first you get the laugh and this and that. He dogs him, then he goes, people like him, He goes, well, you got to have something different. So then he builds him up a little bit again, and and then he goes, you're not gonna do that shit to me, He takes the glasses off, obviously. You better not hit me with those stupid little taps, and So then, of course, Orange Cassidy grabs the mic and, in Orange Cassidy fashion, acts like he might, then doesn't, puts it down and does the kicks. Then they go at it and they just brawl. And I'm wondering if he actually got the hard way on the ear, or if there was like a segment where he bladed himself.
I think it was hard way, actually. I didn't really see where he may have bladed, but I kind of think like that was done hard way.
Yeah. So he got the blade. He hit the Superman punch way up on the thing to end the show. His initial attack on Jericho to double leg into the punches. Those punches were a little soft.
They were.
I mean, I was like, it was almost like early Darby, when Darby, the first two times he jumped Jericho, he hit him with these like awful, like girly, oh Jesus, sorry, I apologize. Like little kid punches, I should say. Let's just call it that. I don't want to get canceled here. So, so it was almost like he hit him with these like little kiddie punches, like all arms, nothing really laying in. And so that was the only real thing as far as drawback of that brawl. But the rest of the brawl was great, and I love Orange Cassidy. Jericho's killing it. Like I've told you, man, I was never a Jericho fan. WCW, never a fan of his. I guess then he went to WWE. I never seen him again. But yeah, I like the end of that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's
Good little build up.
yeah, and that's probably the match I'm looking forward to the most, certainly for Fighter Fest.
Really.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I haven't even, as much as we know what's coming. I haven't really. We're gonna discuss it right
Yeah.
now and do our breakdowns for night one next week. But I haven't actually thought about any of the matches and who they are, and what my idea of who's gonna win are. So my opinions right now are gonna be 100% off the fly.
All right. I've been thinking a little bit about it in preparation for this today, but
have you? Okay.
yeah, we'll see.
I
See
have
you
no
think.
I mean, I didn't even know who was going night one until last night, or actually this morning. Matter of fact, not even that I know. I just pulled up the website with them, so I don't know who's going night one. So that's even going to be a surprise. All right, so we'll start. We got Kenny Omega and Hangman versus Best Friends for the tag championships. Go ahead, man. What's your take?
You know what? I'm kind of gonna go with the Best Friends here. I think especially I am. And I like that. I kind of feel like they were leading into that tonight because they're like, oh, what have we really done together? We haven't won anything. I kind of feel like, again, from a storytelling perspective, they're kind of leading in that direction. And
okay.
I was already thinking before watching Dynamite that they were kind of trying to push them. And then once that promo happened, I was about to say tonight on Dynamite, that kind of cemented it for me. So I'm gonna give it to the Best Friends. I kind of think they're gonna pull it off.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't mind it, but I think it's too soon.
Okay.
I think they dropped the titles to Hangman and Kenny too soon, SCU. And I think to go 2 title changes in under a year, it's too soon for me.
Okay.
For me, titles need to have more meaning than something that switches every 3, 4, 6 months. I'm not saying you can't have reigns that are 6 months. Obviously, something ain't working. Maybe you got to kind of cut it short or whatever. And I know it's happened in the 80s and the 90s. Quick changes, whatnot. Changes back and forth that weren't even televised or talked about. But I really feel like a good title run should be 8 months plus.
Okay.
And you have such a strong tag team division. Do you want your tag team well, you know what? Then I guess thinking about it, you could almost say the tag team division is so strong that anybody could take the title at any time. So, okay. I mean, just thinking that off the top of the head right there, yeah, maybe, whatever. I don't think they're losing the titles, but I don't think they should. I think, okay, you want to have them lose it, go till October, till when's All Out? September?
I think it's September.
Right. Okay, you want to go September? Do it then. You're almost a year in. Do it then.
Okay.
So that means you've had 2 title changes in a year. I get it. And maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe we'll see that kind of play out at Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
So, all right. I mean, that was my.
You made a good point. I mean, I won't go back on what I said, but I think you made a good point for sure as to why they would not necessarily change the titles yet. But yeah.
Right. We got so Cody and Jake for TNT Championship. What do you got?
I think Cody's going to still retain. If he loses that title, I don't think it's going to be to Jake, and I think that there's still going to have to be something more storyline involved with it, especially if he is moving more in the progression of being a heel, forming a horseman, or whatever they're going to be doing with him. I feel like he's still going to be holding that title for a while.
Ed, he put an emoji of a cat. Says kitty punches. That's a good one. We'll have to use that.
That is better.
Yeah, no, I think Cody will definitely retain. Like you, I think there's so much more storyline with the Cody thing. There's a couple angles, the heel turn thing. It's good for him to have a title leading into that. If that happens, again, just a lot of speculation and kind of like just looking at what he's been doing. Honestly, he's been doing this since before the pandemic. So
yeah,
it's not nothing new. I think people are just starting to talk about it more. some of the actions he takes. It was interesting that he was like, "Oh, I'm kind of known as a Boy Scout" during Dynamite's press conference, which is funny considering he's done some like pretty 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 sketchy shit.
Yep, and that could be a
Here,
swerve, I think. Maybe.
right
Yeah.
here and there. I do think he should retain. I like Jake. I think I'm really getting behind Jake, honestly. I don't think he should take a title yet though. But like using Rhodes, Rhodes using the title to turn heel, also using the title to build it up a little more. And I think he's gonna have somebody. There's got to be some good runs at the title, and I think I don't know why they really haven't started the type of title chase with him, but even this isn't really a title chase. It's like he attacked him 1 week. They had a couple little things in between, nothing serious, no confrontations, no real promos on
Yeah.
it, and they just said they're having a match. So I think there needs to be like a chase, like a story, a build.
Yeah, this happened too quickly.
Right. So I think he's going to be in for one of those type of deals, and that's when maybe he'll drop the title, is when he has a real story behind dropping the title.
Yeah.
So, Sheeta versus Penelope.
Sheeta still heads taller than everybody else there right now in that division.
100%.
If she's going to lose the title, it's not going to be to Penelope Ford, so I'm going to give it to Sheeta.
Yeah, I'm going Sheeta. I don't think she should drop the title anytime soon.
I was going to say, I almost feel like if she's going to drop the title at this point, it may not be for a while. Like maybe when Britt Baker comes back, that they're building her up to be this mega heel now, even if she doesn't necessarily have the ability in the ring. That maybe that would be a point where they finally say, all right, let's give the title to Britt just for storyline purposes. It's going to be a lot more fun to see the chase. She's going to have the title. She'll be able to brag about it. Maybe then I could see the title switching up. Other than that, though, there's nobody else really I see right now in the division who I see her losing to. So definitely not Penelope Ford.
You know what we forgot to mention? The other big thing on Dark. It's funny because I didn't even watch the match, but the other big thing that I was looking forward to, not necessarily the match, but was the return of what's her name? Oh my God, Mel. Jesus Christ. Just went right out of my head.
Oh, right. Yes.
I literally was coming to bring this point up, and as soon as I went to say her name, it's like, whoop, gone. So
that's right.
Mel's a perfect person for a heel. She's a perfect heel to go against Sheeta as the face.
Sure.
You know what I mean? She's big too, and she's got some talent. So I think that would be a nice little feud. That's somebody that can probably work a good match with Sheeta and have a good program, and you can make it a long one.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Again, I like, as you can see, I constantly said I like longer things, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't be just month to month or every 2 months, or I don't mind like if they take something that comes out of Fyter Fest into All Out, and then even stretch that into, say, the next, what's the other was it Revolution?
Yes.
Whatever.
I think so. Yes.
I mean, that's probably a little too far away, but they could have something in between there. But even so, it's like I like things that kind of go for a while. Not all the time, obviously, but I think wrestling tends to be like literally month to month.
Yeah.
Most times nowadays. Then you got Private Party versus Santana Ortiz. What do you got?
I'm going to go with Private Party.
Really?
Yeah. I don't necessarily... Yeah.
You know what? That's what they used Santana to tie in Matt Hardy. Wow. I don't know why it didn't even dawn on me. Because I didn't even realize they were wrestling. I forgot. I think they mentioned that they were going to wrestle after
right.
they attacked Matt Hardy.
Right. And again, it just feels like that's a substitution kind of a thing. So
right, exactly.
And I think for that very reason, I think it's going to be Private Party.
Maybe because they got Matt, huh?
Yeah.
I don't I don't see Private Party winning. I think Santana and Ortiz. I think they need to start putting Santana and Ortiz where they belong, and that's at the top of the tag division.
All right.
They need to start using them. And Private Party's too young. They're too green, and they're gonna kind of Hardy's gonna kind of be used as that person because he's already like a mentor. Oh, you guys are young, blah blah blah. So I think they're gonna use that part of the story. They're just young.
Okay.
I don't think they should win for sure.
All right.
Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow.
MJF and Wardlow. I don't even think it's a contest.
Yeah. I agree. That's the way I would book it.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel? Like, I don't like this idea, but how would you feel if they used Wardlow getting pinned and giving MJF a loss to put more of a fissure between their friendship or client?
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. I mean, that's certainly something they could do, I guess, at any time, but I didn't think about that they could perhaps do that here. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either, but I could see the reasoning behind it.
They teased MJF giving Wardlow shit, like, was it 2-3 weeks back?
That's right.
Wardlow was almost like, you better get out of my face before I smack you. And he goes, I'm just, he did the whole, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they're gonna use this as a way to do that as well on another level, or just like almost like just another tease. I still don't think. I think Wardlow and MJF, honestly, that could be a years type of thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless they plan to move MJF into, like, say, a new horseman role. So that's it. That's my thought on it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with MJF and Wardlow, and that was it. That was it for night one.
That's it for night one. Yeah.
That's it. Next week's Dynamite.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to close with?
No, I guess looking night two obviously is the heavier night.
Right.
Hopefully for night two, we're going to get everything that we're supposed to be getting. Hopefully Moxley will be fine. He'll be able to be in there against Cage. Certainly the Moxley Cage and Jericho Cassidy matches are the biggest matches of that night. But I just think in general, that's definitely the second night is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. So I'll be looking forward to talking about that next week.
Yeah. There's some good stuff on night two for sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, before we leave, I just want to say, as always, check out the website, check out Twitter, Facebook, like, share, and subscribe. YouTube. If you're listening to this, be sure to catch us on YouTube on Sundays, around 4:05 Eastern. Get on our Skype, man. Send me a Skype. You want to get on the show? That's how you get on the show with us. We don't want it to be just us talking. I say this a lot, but we prefer that we do less talking and we bring people on to discuss some things with us, or your thoughts, or what your takeaways were from the weeks and AEW in general. So get on a Skype. It's in the description. You can catch the Skype link on our website, uncensoredalliance.com. Please subscribe, like, share. Rate us on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. I'm pleading with you, please, and a good review. No, I'm kidding. But if you like the show, please do. If you don't like the show, do. It is what it is. But help us out by just doing all that stuff, man. And the numbers have looked.
I was going to say, and special thanks to Eddie, who's one of our biggest supporters right now. He's been in the chat, so thanks to him.
Cheerleading us on here.
Always appreciated.
So just, thanks to Ron. I want to shout out Ron.
And Ron as well.
Ron, the 2 weeks ago when we had the issues with the stream, he gave us a heads up. But yeah, check us on Skype, man. We really want to bring some people on the show. I don't want to keep talking all this much. It's too much talking for me. I like to be a little more organic and bounce shit off people than just kind of reading my notes. But I guess for now we'll just keep reading our notes, and if things come up other than just the shows, we'll discuss them. And we just want to thank everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Peace
Peace.
out.
Peace.